Hello, welcome back to my channel, Princess Living Free. To everyone who has subscribed, thank you guys so much for just the support and the love. We really appreciate it. Or maybe I should say I appreciate it. This guy right here has basically joined my channel.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm happy to have him. He's very knowledgeable. This is my husband, by the way, for those of you who are new.
Hi, everybody.
My name is Princess. This is Wasi. We are married, as I just said, and last year we were living in Ethiopia for about 6 months. Actually, we moved there, and our 3 boys, we have 3 young boys, we sold our house, we sold our cars, everything, packed up, moved to Ethiopia, and we have since that time come back to the US, basically just to reposition ourselves financially and to set us up for the future. And so while we have been back, we started building a home on the land that we purchased, and we have a couple previous videos in which we talked about how to buy land in Ethiopia, whether it's better to buy or build and stuff like that. So you can go back through my videos and check out those if you missed them. But today we are going to be talking about how to get a mortgage loan in Ethiopia. So somebody wrote a comment kind of a while back about asking how to get a mortgage in Ethiopia. So, that's something that we're very familiar with if you live in a Western country like the US or the UK, something like that. Basically, that's how everyone gets a house. In Africa, it's a little bit different. Usually people self-fund the building and construction of their home. And so, that's what we're doing, but I just wanted to kind of respond to that comment with a video because I think it is helpful information to know, and if it's something you're interested in, definitely watch this video until the end. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the specific question that I got in the comment section was, how can you get a loan or a mortgage in Ethiopia? So how can you do that?
All right. Thanks guys for watching again. My name is Wasi. There are 3 ways that you get a loan in Ethiopia as Ethiopian diaspora. The first will be through the bank, directly through the bank. The second will be you can get a through real estate companies or the builders that works with the bank. And the third will be directly from the real estate or from the builders without the bank.
Right. So we'll go into more detail about how each of those options work. But I think a really good question that some people might have is, do you need to be a diaspora to get a loan from the bank?
So since the answer is no. If you are, if you live in Ethiopia, you can still able to get a loan, but we are talking to a lot diasporas, those who are living outside of Ethiopia and want to buy a house in Ethiopia. So a lot of people do have that questions, and especially when you live here in Europe or United States or somewhere else, you wanna buy a house in Ethiopia, right? And a lot of people questions is how can I achieve that? So that's why we are making this video today.
Right. And so I think, unfortunately, if you are not an Ethiopian diaspora, that's specifically who we're talking to, not just any, Black American or other types of African diaspora. We're specifically referring to Ethiopian diaspora, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So we got that out of the way. Now, the first way that we told you was going directly to the bank. So kind of what are the terms for a loan, a mortgage loan, if you go directly to the bank, or how does that whole thing work?
All right, so if you are going directly to the bank, the banks, they have their own requirement from you. The first thing is really you have to be a diaspora. You have to open a diaspora account. That will be, you can do that if you are in Ethiopia. Maybe let's say you are there to visit or on vacation. You can able to open that in Ethiopia, or you can open here where you live through the embassy of Ethiopia.
Okay, so you open the diaspora account, and we'll get to all the other requirements later, but if you're going directly through the bank for a mortgage loan, typically what do they offer you in terms of a loan amount, or the terms of the agreement, that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's really they actually encourage people, diasporas, to open diaspora account and start saving money. So you only able to open a diaspora account with dollars, euro, or a pound. Has to be those three. Usually those are three money you can open open Ethiopian account with.
Right. So once you have opened the diaspora account with the Ethiopian bank of your choice, I mean, it could be Commercial Bank of Ethiopia,
Yes,
or
Abyssinia, or any other. Most of government or private Ethiopian banks do offer the diaspora account, because they also want that transaction. They want the dollar or the euro or the pound for their business as well. So they do encourage to open the diaspora account.
Okay, so once you have opened the diaspora account with the Ethiopian bank of your choice, what you're going to do first is start putting some savings into that account in one of those three currencies my husband just listed: the dollar, the euro, or the pound.
That's correct. So what will happen is there's a requirement that we'll kind of mention later from a bank that need from you as a diaspora. You can be Ethiopian who live abroad, or Ethiopian that born outside of Ethiopia but has a work permit. Those two people, no, it's no work permit, but yellow card,
permanent residency.
Residency.
We're gonna get to the
it's a lot of information trying to unpack here.
Yeah. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. So that is pretty much like going to the bank directly. You open a diaspora account. You start saving in one of those three foreign currencies.
Yes.
And then so the agreement that you're gonna have with the bank would be, you need to save up to a certain percentage, and then the bank will give you the rest. So you can kind of go into detail about that.
Correct. So usually the minimum saving on that diaspora account has to be 20%. So 20% of the total purchase of the house that you are purchasing or you're buying. If the house is, let's say, is 5 million Ethiopian birr, you'll be saving 20% of that total purchase towards that diaspora account,
which would be 1 million Ethiopian birr.
But so that has to be saved in dollar or euro or in pound. So once you save that amount, you can go to the bank. If you're in Ethiopia, you can go to the bank. Hey, I saved the 20% of the total purchase of the house I want to buy, and I would like to have the loan. Once you satisfy the down payment or the minimum deposit requirement that bank told you to do, and the bank can initiate the rest 80% of the loan. So they will give you the 80%, and you have the 20% towards your account, and you can purchase the house.
Okay. And what's the interest rate they offer you at the 20% down payment rate?
So I'm just gonna take the example of Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. That is the government owned. So if you are making a 20% down payment or save 20% into diaspora account, and they will give you the 80%, your interest rate will be 10%.
Okay. And so does the interest rate change at all with the amount that you're able to save? Like if you can do 50% or 30% or whatever? That's correct.
So the more you save, the less the interest goes down. So 80%, if 80% they are funding you, and you did 20% is 10%. If you're doing 30% is in your saving account, and they'll give you 70%, it will be 9.5. If you are put 40% into your diaspora account, and the government funding you 60%, and it will be 8.5.
Okay.
And the other thing, if you saved 50% of the total purchase of the house, and the government only funding you or giving the loan for the other 50%, there will be actually no requirement for you to produce.
So you don't have to produce any documentation?
Any documentation. So we'll get to that later on. Wow. Correct. So the more you save is the better you are in terms of paying
interest
faster and low interest rate, and paying faster, and producing less paperwork.
Okay, and on average, how many years will the bank give you to repay the loan?
Usually from 20 to 30 years,
Okay.
mortgage loan.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so that kind of wraps up the first way of obtaining a mortgage loan directly through the bank.
Yes.
So the second way we're going to talk about is through a home builder. There's many of them that are located and operating in Ethiopia.
Correct.
So plenty to choose from, but if you're going to go through one of those builders and also have them coordinate with the bank for you, there are some different, kind of similar, but somewhat different rules that apply.
That's correct. So most of the time, let's say you like the house, and you find out one of the real estate in Ethiopia, the builder, let's say it's a gift real estate or Noah real estate, Sahai real estate. Some of these companies do work with the government. So what they do is they do most of the paperwork for you. So instead of you doing it, when you work with the bank, you have to do a lot of paperwork. But when you go through these real estate companies, they do most of the paperwork for you. There's still some requirement that needed from you. So you still need that, the diaspora account. So what they do is they will ask you, let's say I'm gonna just take example again, is the house is 5 million, and they will say, we want you, they want 20% or 30% of the house, the total purchase of the house. So you give that money to the builder, and the builder will take the rest of 70% from the bank, and it will give the property, the bank hold the property until you pay back the rest of the remaining to the bank.
Right.
If that makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And I think something that's important to point out here is that these mortgage loans typically are to buy a house that's already constructed.
That's correct.
However, there is one bank that we're aware of, Go Betoch is the name of the bank. They will actually give you a mortgage loan to build your own house or to renovate a house that's already built.
That's just correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a brand new bank that just established. It's mainly focused on mortgage loans. So it could be building on your own house on your own plot land, or renovating your house that is old, or buying the house that already built. So most of the banks in Ethiopia, they only focus on giving you a loan to buy a house that is already built. But this particular bank is called Go Betoch Bank. It will focus on a lot of aspects. It will give you a loan for a lot of things, the same way a lot of Western banks do here.
Okay. So I thought that was, important to point out.
That's very important. And maybe we will do in the future on Go Betoch, the interest rate and more on detail on that maybe in the future.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, let us know in the comments. We actually will be in Ethiopia later this year. So maybe we will go there to the bank, do an interview with them, get, some direct information.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also we want to show you guys some houses, some, ranging in prices from more affordable to less affordable, just kind of show you what is out there. Because I think, on YouTube, I think in our personal experience, it's been kind of hard to, find something that is nice, through YouTube videos. So we want to be able to kind of fill that gap and help you see like actual houses, that are available.
Very true.
So that might be something that we're going to do in the future. So keep a lookout on that. And I think now's a good time to say, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos, especially if you are thinking about relocating to Ethiopia.
Yeah. I just want to say on this channel, we're really trying to bring a fresh and informative information to you guys. So because I have the same questions before when I'm looking video on YouTube, it's very hard to find a clear and a good information about buying and selling house or stuff like that.
Right.
So
and not just on YouTube, online period, it's hard
Yeah.
to find this information. So that's really why, I wanted to put this channel together, and now, my husband has joined in with me, and we might have to like rename the channel or something, but yeah, so that's why
No.
we're putting this information out there,
Yeah.
because we know like it's hard to find it, it's hard to get the real information.
Yeah.
And on the same note, we actually have started offering consultations one-on-one with people. And so you can see in the description of my channel, we have a website if you're interested in getting some consultation from us. Our email is ethiolivingfree@gmail.com, and I'll put that on the screen for you guys. So if you would like a consultation and get some more one-on-one information from our own experience, you can send us an email. All right, so anyways, back to the mortgage loans through the builder with the bank. So how are the terms still the same? Like, are the interest rates the same? The terms of the mortgage the same? Like, the amount of time you have to pay back, or what? How does that work?
correct. Most of the terms and the time working with the real estate with the bank stays the same.
Okay.
Because the real estate, they even though they do a lot of paperwork, which is good about that, you don't have to do a lot of paperwork, but still they have to obey by the law of the bank. So this also is longer term, from 20 to 30 years, a mortgage as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I think that kind of covers it for getting a mortgage loan through a builder with the bank.
That's correct.
All right. Moving on to the last way that we're aware of to get a mortgage loan in Ethiopia, and that is through a builder without the bank.
Yes. So this one is, or I would say there is, to the best of my knowledge, there is one real estate companies or builder in Ethiopia that operate, has a special permission from the government loaning its own money without the bank. That is Aya Real Estate. Aya Real Estate does that. They say they have a special permission from the bank that they can loan
From the government.
From the government. That yes, so they have a special permission from the government that they can loan their own money without the bank. So they will loan you the money, and you buy the house from them, usually because they're a real estate company themselves. But this one is for a short period of time. It's only lasts, the long term is from 2 to 3 years period. You have to pay back that money.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it still has to be paid back in dollars, pounds, or euros.
That's correct.
That might put more pressure on you to, fulfill the terms of the loan and get it paid back within that very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind if you're going to consider going that route.
That's very true. And also this one is really helpful for people who have the money already. You don't want to worry about building the house, and you like the house, you have the money, and you just want to pay in 2 to 3 years period, or even less than that. And also you don't want to pay the interest on the loan for a longer period of time. That would be the right option for you to go with.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the 3 main ways that you can get a mortgage loan in Ethiopia. And now we're going to quickly go over just generally what the requirements may be. We would definitely recommend that you reach out to the bank or builder that you're interested in working with for the specifics. But we'll just give you kind of a general overview of what you should have in place in order to secure these loans.
Yeah, that's correct. So what is the requirement in the bank need from you? So let's say we're going with Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. That's a state-owned bank. Most of banks, they have their own interest rate and stuff like that, but the requirement kind of stays the same. So the first would be for you to, you have to be 18 years of age or older to apply for the loan. That would be the first one.
Okay.
The second would be if you are Ethiopian, live outside of Ethiopia, and you need Ethiopian passport that is not expired, and
or a yellow card, right?
and what that is for. If you are Ethiopian and you live outside of Ethiopia, you don't need a yellow card because you already have Ethiopian passport.
Okay.
unless you are Ethiopian born outside of Ethiopia, you do need a yellow card. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
So just you're gonna need proof of residency or citizenship to Ethiopia.
Correct.
The Ethiopian passport or the yellow card for residency. And I do have a video on that as well for how to obtain the yellow card.
Correct. So you need two photo passport. That's what it's called.
Sized photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, they want to see your marriage status. So if you are married, you have to provide all of the marriage license and stuff like that. And even if you are not married, you still have to prove that you are not married.
Yeah. And so if you're in the U.S., that might be a little tricky. I'm not exactly sure what specific document you could provide, but like I said, this is just a general overview of what's expected.
Correct.
So, you'll get more information when you're ready to reach out to the bank directly or the builder.
Exactly. That's the other one. We
have our notes written down. So
yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm following the notes.
Right.
Also, the other one is that the bank also require to see your job verification and the yearly annual salary or income. They want to see that how you're getting paid, where your income is coming from, because you're putting the money towards that house, so they want to know where that's coming from.
They want to know they're going to get their money back. So.
Yes, so at least they want to see a year worth of bank statement from your foreign bank.
Okay.
That's important. The other thing, if you are a self-employed, you don't have the job, but you're a business person, you have to provide 3 year worth of bank statement and the tax returns.
Okay.
And also you have to prove that your business license is up to date. That's not expired. Really, those are the requirement that you need to open the diaspora account and to secure the loan.
All right. So hopefully that was clear and helpful information for you guys. If you do have any questions about this video, please leave it in the comments below. We'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you want a one-on-one consultation with us, like I mentioned, you can reach out to our consultation email, ethiolivingfree@gmail.com. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye.